So, peace, love, and light. And it is me, Dana Holistic Goddess, and it has been a minute. Happy new calendar year, because it's not quite the new year yet. We don't begin that until the spring equinox, which spring this year is, I believe, March 19th. So that's when we will be entering spring. Um, so yeah, happy new calendar year. It's a new calendar year, but it's not quite a new year just yet. Um, but anyways, I have some updates for you guys. Um, I am again in the process of figuring out this whole filming situation because I I'm now recording on my iPad. Um, I was my most recent video, this how to rehydrate or how to make sea moss gel. That video was actually recorded on my phone, and then I do have like several videos, even from this summer, that are still on my camera that I have to edit, but I don't have the space on my MacBook to like take the footage from my camera and edit it, because I barely have the space to upload the clips as it is. So I know I don't have space for the edited clips. So I'm just striving to kind of like figure out my recording setup. Um, and since I got my iPad, what I'm thinking is maybe if I can get my um, my recorded footage from my camera, if I can somehow get that on my iPad and then just I edit from my iPad, I would be like straight, like we'd be good. But I don't know, I'm still playing around with everything. So that is another reason why I've kind of been delayed. Um, so yeah. Secondly, what took me so long to come back is because y'all, I just been going through some things. If you follow me on like Instagram and you follow me on Snapchat or like Facebook or like honestly like any social media, I just been kind of like overwhelmed in this hibernating time that we're in. Um, it's been like so many emotions, so many changes, so many like um, things that have been going on. But now I feel like I'm in a much better space than I was. So because of that, I didn't want to come to y'all when I was like really, really like down, because it was just gonna be like a negative talk fest like about myself, and I just didn't want to do that. So I wanted to come to y'all once I had gotten myself more back in alignment, because what ended up happening was, I know y'all saw the video where I had attempted to do my 100-day fast, and I got to day 28, and like I said, there were multiple reasons why I had decided to go ahead and end my fast. A lot of it was due to the fact that my fast felt like it wasn't a juice fast anymore. It felt like it was just kind of like, I mean, I probably was over exaggerating or thinking too much about it, but I just began to consume soups. Because what I ended up doing was I started off doing juices really, really well, up until about day 14. About day 15, 16 is when I decided, okay, I'm going to include soups, because even though they're not juices, they're still liquid. So technically, it kind of felt like I went from doing a juice fast to a liquid fast, and my intent, what you saw in that video, was to strictly like stay set on what I said I was going to stay set on and not waver any up or down, if that makes sense. But I ended up doing that. So I ended up overindulging in soups more than I was the juices, and so that's why I felt like it was more of a liquid fast versus a juice fast like I intended. So I ended up ending my fast because that kind of like led me to, that was kind of like my gateway to like more cooked food. So I ended up consuming cooked foods again and kind of just like uncontrollably. Like I was eating, it was still vegan, but it was just processed, like as processed vegan food as I could get. I had pumpkin vegan chocolate chip cookies. I had tomato sandwiches with vegan mayonnaise. I had subs. I had refried beans with hella hot sauce and salsa. Like I just had so much stuff. It may not seem bad, but one thing about me is I notice like whether I eat very clean or whether I eat very like unclean, I eat a lot naturally. Like I don't think it's because I'm greedy. Naturally, I just like large amounts of food. That's even like I said. That's even if I'm just eating a salad, or if I'm eating, ribs. You know, in the past. But yeah, I tend to consume a lot, so that's something I've noticed too. And like as I was consuming these things, at first I was kind of being mindful not to go overboard, but then there were times where I would go overboard, and I just kind of let myself. But I was paying attention to myself while I was going through the process of just allowing myself to like let go. And in the process, these same exact side effects that I've gotten numerous times from consuming processed foods begin to show face again, which is no shocker because I've kind of like caught on to the cycles of my body when I eat fairly well versus when I eat like not so good. And so, um, scent from my arms, scent from my vaginas, I was about to say scent. That's why it had S on vagina. Sorry, y'all. My acne. Like right now, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have my phone's camera. But as you see now, like my skin has actually cleared up. My skin has actually cleared up a lot, but my acne was horrible. I have these little like markings from when my glasses sit on my nose, but like my skin was just more um, uneven. Like the complexion of my skin was like more uneven, but now I have a more even skin tone because I've been eating better, and then I've been pairing that also with exfoliating my skin and using like black soap and like shea butter and neem oil and stuff like that on my skin. Um, but also like I was like a lot more tired. Like basically everything I explained in my Kemetic diet, my transition to Kemetic diet video about the things that I was experiencing, those are things that will always happen. I feel like for me when I go back to eating um, even processed vegan foods, because initially when I started out on this health, and wellness journey, and I was consuming meat and dairy, I thought that those were my main issues. But it's been a little over 4 years since I've consumed any type of poultry, and it's been a little over a year since I've consumed any dairy or seafood. And when I still indulge in processed vegan foods, I still have similar symptoms that I did when I ate seafood, dairy, and poultry. Um, Even though the symptoms were a lot more profound, I've still noticed that um, when I'm eating very, very clean, I don't have those issues. But the minute that I begin to create these, very starchy, very sugary, very processed, and cooked foods into my diet, it just does not sit right with my body. And my body has seemed to get more sensitive as time has gone on. So yeah, that's basically like what's been going on with me. As far as that, I've been reading 12 Universal Laws of Success. And sorry for this weird camera setup. I actually didn't intend on actually recording a video. Like I was just kind of like playing around because what I wanted to do was write down what I wanted to talk about. so that I wouldn't, get jammed up or like get locked up in my words and thoughts and stuff like that. I was gonna actually write things down and then come to y'all like in the daytime and like have things structured. But this it just came out like this, and it's coming out pretty good. So it's I'm not saying like it's coming out pretty good. It's like I have a certain way I want it to come out, but y'all know me when I strive to express my thoughts and things on the spot. I tend to struggle a lot with that. So that's what I mean by like it's coming out right. I'm not finding myself struggling to process um, my and thoughts and emotions. So currently I'm reading a couple books. I'm still reading Kemetic Diet. This is actually an update. Since my plan was from July into December to stay in phase B of Kemetic Diet, I had intended on January 1st of 2020 um, to be to come into stage C of transition in the Kemetic Diet, which would be um, mostly to sum it up, it's 80% raw living foods and 20% cooked foods. It doesn't even say processed on this stage. Processed was the 50%. You got 50% processed foods in stage B, along with 50% raw and living foods. But now in stage C, it's 80% raw and living, 20% cooked, not processed. So you're eliminating more things this time. Even though I can honestly say in phase B, there were a couple of things that I did not do regularly. Like one was to substitute like regular refined sugar and things like that with things like stevia or like maple syrup. I did that sometimes, but most of the time it was just, you know, because I was on my like binge in certain times, majority of the time through this phase B of transitioning through Kemetic Diet. Some things I didn't do, some things I did, but because of my experience with teetering and going back and forth and knowing my results already, um, I just took it upon myself to go ahead and proceed into stage C, and then to go ahead and just fully like implement the things that it's suggesting so that I can do this the right way, if that makes sense, and be on track for progress by the time it mentions that I should be fully raw. But also, I want to mention, like, in my mind, I kind of am already fully raw because cooked food of any kind, even cooked vegetables, is a gateway for me. Um, since January 1st, I have not been consuming cooked food like that. I had some collard greens my grandma cooked and some black eyed peas on the first. Um, and I finished up the rest of those collard greens like a couple days ago. And so like that's the only cooked food I've had since this new calendar year started or whatever. Um, but other than that, what's today? The 11th of January. Other than that, um, I've been eating raw. I've been eating things like collard green wraps. I successfully for the first time made a raw vegan dressing or sauce with cashews, and it turned out really really good. Like I followed this I don't remember the website, but it gave a recipe for raw vegan ranch, and it turned out really really good to the point where it's like my go-to uh dressing, where I kind of use it as like mayonnaise, like ranch mayonnaise. Like it sounds disgusting, but it's really good. So I made like collard green wraps, and I use that like as my base. Um, I've been consuming smoothies. I've been drinking my water. I have been meditating or striving to meditate more consistently. And yeah, I've just honestly been changing my mindset. That's the biggest difference this time around, is changing my mindset. Because what I was about to say earlier is that I've been continuing to read Kemetic Diet. I've also decided to start the 12 Universal Laws of Success, which that book has really been helping me to get mentally aligned. Because one thing that I noticed last year, like one of the biggest lessons that I probably learned last year, aside from, um, okay, we're not going to talk on that. But one of the biggest things that I learned last year was that I had to get my mind, like towards the end of the year, I started realizing that my mind was the biggest thing that I needed to focus on. I would have a lot of anxiety about the things that I knew that I needed to do, but implementing them were like the toughest thing for me to do. And I would create this type of anxiety where I knew I needed to do things, but I didn't know what to do first or where to start first. And I just felt like there had to be a perfect time, and you know, this wasn't the right time, or that wasn't the right time, or I didn't have enough things. And so it led to procrastination, and procrastination led to anxiety, and anxiety led to me not doing anything at all, which only made my anxiety worse. And so I just started reading like 12 Universal Laws of Success, and it just talks about your goals. It talks about having the desire to not let anything stop you from doing what you um, really have your heart set on. And it really, step by step, takes you through writing out your vision, looking within. What is it that you really want? Where is it that you really want to go? How thought can affect your reality, negative or positive. And that is one of the things that I feel like has really been holding me back from embracing raw food the way that I know I need to, because y'all have seen my struggle. Especially those who actually take the time to watch my videos and follow me on my journey, which, by the way, I want to thank you all so much, because my channel has been growing. Like, supporters have been supporting and people have been liking and sharing and commenting and watching, and I'm just like so appreciative. Like, I come back and I look at how many supporters I have, on YouTube, and I'm just like, dang, that number was just that a couple days ago, and now it's this. So like, I'm very, very much so appreciative and grateful. So I do want to thank you all. Um, but like, from following my journey, one of the biggest things that I can say that I've been missing is really aligning my mind, and that is something that I'm doing now as of present, and really intentionally focusing on, because once I get my mind right, my body will follow. And like, I've been so frustrated trying to get my body to follow my mind hasn't been focused on the right things. So instead of looking at not being able to consume things that are comforting to me any longer, and looking at that as a negative thing, and striving to look at, oh, these are the things I should be avoiding, I'm now looking at fruits, vegetables, smoothies, raw dishes, um, just overall whole foods in their raw form, raw, live, vegetarian lifestyle. I've been looking at ways in which I can consume more of those things versus focusing my thought on, okay, I need to avoid eating chips today. I need to avoid eating, chocolate or anything with sugar in it. I need to avoid drinking sugary drinks, or, whatever the case may be. My thought has changed from that to, um, let me make sure I eat me a salad today. Let me make sure I drink me a smoothie and add my sea moss. Like, let me make sure I'm drinking my water, and let me make sure that I stretch today. Let me make sure, I write down my goals today. Like, I'm focusing more on what I need to be doing versus like what I can't do anymore. I'm paying attention to both, but I'm putting a little bit more emphasis on, and a little bit more focus on, things that I need to do to get me to my goal. And that's been working out great for me, honestly. That's been working out super great for me. I'm more disciplined. I'm more back into that element of my higher self that I've kind of like visited several times before, because y'all know I teeter again, you know. But I'm doing really good. Like, I won't say I'm focused just all on food, because like I said, I'm in the process of making meditation more consistent for me. And I have this planner, which is called a panda planner, which I'll make a whole nother video, because this video is like 20 minutes long. Dang. It's a panda planner, and it's a daily planner where in the beginning of the morning you write down 3 things you're thankful for. You write down your top three, um, 3 things you're thankful for. You write down, hold on. See, I was about to avoid doing this, but I done brought it up now. And then, like, after this, I'm gonna kind of like wrap this video up for the night. But this is called a panda planner, and you see the print of the panda on the front. So you have, you write down 3 things you're grateful for. You write down 3 things you're excited about. You write down an affirmation. I'll kind of show y'all. Okay, let me get these out the way. All right, so you write down 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you're excited about. You write down an affirmation. You write down your focus for today. You write down your exercise that you're going to intend on doing. You write down your top, I think, 5 priorities. And then you have a space for the same day to write down your schedule. To also write down your task, notes. And then you have this end of the day review here at the bottom, where you can write down, let me see. You can write down today's wins, and then you can also write down how you will improve. It also has a space for you to write your monthly calendar. Like, you have a calendar for you to write out stuff and plan things for the month. And then you have like a plan at the bottom, which says like this month's goals, distractions to avoid at the beginning of the month. And then at the end, you write down like a review or like stuff for the end of the month, like this month's wins or insight gained. And you also have one last section for weekly, and you do the same thing kind of with weekly. Y'all kind of get the picture. Yeah, so I actually have, I guess I can show y'all a little sample page of something I did. Okay, this one is pretty simple and not like too much, giving y'all insight into. So, what I mean by that is like, it's not too like personal or whatever. So I wrote down the things I was thankful for and stuff like that. And then like my affirmation for that day was, I can do anything I put my mind to. My focus that day was completing all my tasks. My exercise that day was just to stretch and then, style my daughter's hair. Read. Oh wait, that's style my daughter's hair. Do sight words for her since I homeschool. Read and read and do her hair. Sorry, y'all. And then I just have some notes and then my task for that day, and then I just kind of put my review for the end of that day. So yeah, I am doing things that are aligned with consistency, that are aligned with my heart's desires, because it's like, no matter how off track I get, I always have the desire to be this person who I'm striving to be. Like, even when I fall off, Like my focus is still health, wellness, holistic wellness, Kemetic knowledge, spirituality. Like that is my whole drive, my whole desire, like my what's my life's purpose. So even though I have my hiccups and my setbacks and things like that, I am still striving. I'm not giving up. Um, yeah, I'm not giving up. But before I leave off with this video, this is the 12 Universal Laws of Success, the book that I'm talking about. I'm going to leave off with something enlightening. Because this is really a good book. Like, it's like having your own personal therapist. Because, like, honestly, when I started flipping through this book and I was reading, and how it came upon a passage where it was talking about, when it was talking about that there's no such thing as failure, that your failures are dress rehearsals for the big thing. It just took so much weight off my shoulder. Like I was feeling so overwhelmed then, and just feeling like I couldn't do nothing right, and I would always mess up, or I would always fall back on my word, or like I just could never just deliver fully what I said I was going to deliver. It just gave me comfort. I just found so much comfort in these words. So I'm going to read y'all a part in here where it talks about the fear of failure keeps you from trying. Okay, so it says, and hold on, a little backstory. It has the main obstacle to change is fear. And it says, what is fear? It says, fear is false evidence appearing real. And it says, the three main fears keep people from making the changes that are necessary to improve their lives. And this was the one I resonated with, because the three are the fear of change, the fear of criticism, and the fear of failure. Mine was the fear of failure. So it says, the fear of failure keeps you from trying. Fear of failure often manifests as the habit of procrastination. This way, you can talk about the better life you desire and know the changes in your thinking that are necessary to bring this better life about. Yet, you never seem to get started making those changes. It's either too late, too early, or just not the right time to get started. The fear of failure makes you find rational excuses for not trying and understandable excuses for quitting, often just a step away from victory. To overcome the fear of failure, realize that to fail means you're trying. Failure is just a dress rehearsal for success. Anyone who has not failed at anything has probably never succeeded at anything either. So, that is what I want to leave you all with, because I've just been doing so much self-realization about the changes that I need to make necessary in my mind first, so that my body can follow. Because if my mind is not right, then that means my foundation ain't right. And so that means I'm going to crumble, I'm going to crack, I'm going to fall. But with me strengthening my mind this time the way that I'm supposed to, because it's like I get it. Like it was profound to me before, because that's one thing I'm noticing about spiritual growth. Like the more you grow, the more like meaning, like even the simplest things have to you. Like this, like did I say that right? The simplest things have so much more meaning now, that like I'm spiritually maturing, if that makes sense. So yeah, we're gonna speak more on this topic. I just feel like right now, like I've just said like a lot. This video is like 30 minutes long. I was not even expecting to make this video today. So yeah, I gotta go to work in the morning and everything. But thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully I gave y'all some insight to what's been going on with me in the last few weeks. Yeah, I missed you all. I missed talking to you all. Don't think that I haven't thought about you all. I have been working on getting things set up. I'm using my phone's flashlight right now, but I have this ring light, this little like mobile ring light coming in, to where like, you know, when I want to have these late night sessions and just kind of like talk about all that's been on my mind, and just kind of just wanting to update you guys or vent or ramble or whatever, then I can come do that and not worry about my lighting. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video since it's like 30 minutes long. But yeah, peace, love, and light, family. And I'm so just glad to just be here talking with y'all, chatting with y'all, even though y'all can't like respond to me right now. Y'all get what I'm saying. But yeah, peace, love, and light, family. And I'll talk to y'all in another video. Peace.